Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I see the live chat is filled with the usual people, my favorite people. I see Afif, I see Ayan, I see Soha, I see Return, I see Anne, I see Music Guy. Also, we have here. I see Pyro. Yes. Okay, great. This is good. Oh, I see Puya. Soha is saying audio is great. Thank you, Soha. All right. We do need questions, though. I do want to say that I'm really enjoying, what the hell? Really enjoying the courses that I'm taking on Great Courses, which now has a new name, Wondrium, something like that. I'm studying Greek philosophy right now, and the relationship between religion and Greek philosophy. I never considered Olympianism, the effect of Olympianism as a religion on Greek philosophy. It's just so fascinating to now consider. It's so beautiful. I was thinking of maybe when I'm taking these courses to take the course notes and just discuss it with you guys. I keep promoting Audible and the great courses and different places where I get my information, and I get nothing out of these promotions. I need to I told Susanna, maybe because I'm so lazy to actually get the affiliate program. So Susanna, well, actually, I'm not lazy. I'm learning all the time. God damn it. But the administrative stuff, Susie is really good at that. So I'm hoping when she gets the time, she's really busy, to get us, maybe if she gets, I'm already recommending these services to you guys. So I might as well get some, affiliate commissions for it on Atheist Republic, right? So I'm going to basically maybe when I'm taking these courses, give you guys a summary of the things that I'm learning, and then tell you guys where I got the information, and you guys could go check it out. And then if you use the link, then Atheist Republic gets a commission. So I was thinking of doing that. What do you guys think? All right, here's a question. Finally, thank you. Waris is saying, why has there never been a Persian Nobel Prize winner in the sciences, economics, and literature? Yet there has been over 900 Jewish Nobel laureates. Is it due to relative? I'm not going to say that because YouTube might think I'm doing something controversial, which we know we don't want YouTube to think that. So I'm just, guys, read it on the screen, okay? Due to relative that differences, it might be, but if it is, the main question, what people should understand is that if it is, it could be environmental and cultural, right? Those differences is not explained by genetics, right? Those differences do exist. I don't know if that's the reason, but the effect, the reason why those differences exist is largely environmental. You guys understand? Environmental as in cultural, socioeconomics, and stuff like that. So it's interesting because a lot of people think that if you say that it's environmental, you're denying the hereditary nature of that attribute, which I'm not. Something could be completely hereditary, but at the same time completely distributed evenly among separate ethnicities, right? So for example, there could be a trait, let's call it trait A, okay, which if your parents have more of that, then the offsprings are more likely to have it, right? So this trait A is completely correlated with heredity, But even if it's correlated with her, like it's genetical, it could be completely genetical, but something that is genetical could still be evenly distributed if you adjust for environmental factor among different population groups or ethnic groups or whatever you want to call it, right? So when you say Jewish Nobel laureates, you're talking about a group of people that have been so heavily prosecuted. And I'm just going to give you a hypothesis. I have no reason to believe that this is true other than coming up with one scenario, right? You're talking about a group of people that have been so heavily persecuted and a group of people that have been obsessed with keeping themselves, their identity living. And the way to do that without a nation and without an army was to maintain a set of skills that would keep them relevant throughout history. Okay, this makes them develop a certain culture which makes them skillful in finances or politics or negotiation or trade and reading. And this is just a group of people that seems to, wherever they go, to have enemies, and they have no army to defend them. So making themselves valuable could be considered a very important defense mechanism, right? And therefore there are certain things that would just seep into their culture and have multi-generational effects that might have. By the way, the group of people that you're saying when you're talking about Jewish Nobel laureates, they don't have more Jewish Nobel laureates compared to just Persian people. They have more Jewish Nobel laureates compared to every group of people, right? Like they outperform every group of people, right? So it could be completely cultural. I mean, even that the thing that you're mentioning, I know it's genetical, but it's also environmental, and it could be the environmental factors have been proven to be way more influential, when it comes to the difference between, not when it comes to the difference between individuals. No, maybe the genetics have a lot more influence, but the difference between ethnic groups in that aspect has been completely explained by either 100% or something close to it by environmental factors. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Was that a good answer? Were you satisfied? Were you satisfied with this answer, Waris? Are the courses difficult? I mean, I'm listening to it on double speed, and I'm not having any issues. So I would say it's not that difficult, but that's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's easy for me. I don't know. What are you drinking? Smith is asking. Coke Zero. Nothing alcoholic. Not because alcohol is sinful, but because I care about my health. And yet, if you think like, artificial sweeteners, this is bad for you, shut up. Okay? This is way better than sugar. Way better than sugar. Okay? Whatever damages you could get from artificial sweeteners, it's a fraction of what you could get from sugar. Okay? It's a good, the cost benefit, it's heavily on one side. Return is saying mathematics was discovered in Persia, India, and Arabia. Mathematics was discovered by the first cavemen that started counting. I don't know how, depends on how you define mathematics. Okay? If you're talking about what I think, okay, so I think what you're referring to is not mathematics, it's certain numerics and certain way of calculating things. That started in India, and then it went to Persia, and then went to Arabia. So it started that, if you're referring to what I think you're referring to, that started in India. Actually, I think before that it started in China. I'm not sure. I have to go back to my notes. Armin, have you heard about the philosopher Ayn Rand and her philosophy of objectivism? If so, what's your thoughts? It's too simplistic, I think, and it's very, I think, it lacks emotion, which is such an important part of calculating morality and calculating what's best for society. It just lacks. It's just so dry, and it just takes so much pride in being mathematical and objective, and without, it just takes so pride in putting emotions away in doing its calculation. But if you want to be mathematical, if you want to be analytical when you're doing your calculation, emotions is such an important part of the calculation that the fact that you're denying it doesn't make you objective. It just makes you delusional. That's my view of it. It could be completely wrong. Somebody will be like, Armin, you just don't understand it. Okay, well, then educate me, right? What happened to the stream you did about the satanic verses? Seems it's been taken down. We are taking a lot of our videos down because YouTube is going crazy on what it wants to put a strike on in our channel, and we don't even know what's okay anymore. So anything that could trigger the algorithm, potentially, even because of the wrong phrasing of something, we have taken at least 500 videos down, and now with the more recent strike that we got in Atheist Republic, we're going to take a lot more down as well. So it sucks. Two Fairy is asking, what percentage of young educational Muslims in the West are pretending to be religious while secretly being atheist agnostic? What is your opinion? What percentage? How would I know? Like, this is like I think if I give you a percentage, you should be disappointed in me providing numbers without having young educated Muslims in the West. That's very vague. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, there's no way. Like, not only do I not know, if anybody guesses this without anything to back it up, then you should be like, why you just where did you pull out that number from? I don't know. You should be very skeptical of somebody that offers a number without anything to back it up. Educated Muslims in the West are pretending to be religious. I have no idea. What is Persian culture like in regards to... Oh, hi, Troll. Okay, Troll is saying, what is Persian culture like in regards to literacy? Jewish cultures has emphasized being literate for more than a millennia to preserve the Torah, but literacy is generally useful. Well, my personal experience has been education is something that people pursue in an obsessive manner, okay, in Iran. But that's my social circle that I was in, okay? Education and knowledge is considered something to brag about, something as a positive value in society, very much so, but maybe even too much so, as in people's worth are completely valued by the level of education they have. But I don't know if that's a good way of measuring it, because education in a form of just a degree as a form of signaling worth to society is not necessarily doesn't always demonstrate the type of knowledge and the type of skill set that makes society, that if more people have it in a society, it would make the society better off, right? Like, the type of education and the way that people are being educated sometimes is very important, right? I don't know. Like, for example, there is certain attitudes towards knowledge and that is promoted that turns people into risk takers, turns people curious, turns people into thirsty for adventure, thirsty for discovery, thirsty for creating something new, right? There's certain other cultures that do promote education and knowledge, but the way that they do it is it just creates students that memorize things to pass exams and get degrees, get high grades, but there's no ambition, you know what I mean? Like you don't create, it's hard to create scientists and entrepreneurs and out of that type of education, right? You get people with really high grades that their mothers could go and brag about them in parties. But this kid is not being motivated to go beyond and to go and have an urge for discovery and learning. It's just like this kid just wants a high grade, right? I think like promoting certain attitudes, certain type of, I don't know, norms, the environment that is the culture of the education system sometimes needs to be, and that's something that you can't just change in the education system, right? That's something that you have to have built within the culture that you are building the education system on top, right? So maybe like the culture itself doesn't have the capacity to motivate people in that direction. So whatever education system you built on top of that will not lead to, that entrepreneurial or that curious or that sense of discovery or that thirst for knowledge kind of attitude that you might get in other places, right? You know what? One thing that is unfortunately gets people there like that is war, unfortunately. So you want people to become entrepreneurial and extremely interested in learning things as fast as possible. Unfortunately, one of the fastest way of getting there is war. Unfortunately, I'm not promoting war, by the way. I'm just saying that's how. I'm seeing some very interesting new comments at the bottom, but I'm not there yet. Maybe I should answer faster. So I was saying, do you think that the vegetable juice we ate is healthy? I don't know. What guys, I'm not a nutritionist, okay? Like you should guys, just read the ingredients, okay? See how much calories. Okay, guys, I'm not a nutritionist, okay? So don't take it my advice as gospel. Go do your own research. What works for me might not work for you, but I try not to drink my calories, okay? Whatever I drink doesn't have calories, right? So if you're drinking something that has a vitamin water or vegetable juice or something, and you look at it and it has like 1,000,000 goddamn calories in one cup, that stuff is not healthy, okay? I try to make sure that whatever gives me calories also is filling me up to the max. And by filling me up, I mean it has either a lot of water or a lot of fiber or a lot of protein. Okay? And it's solid so that it stays in my guts for a while before it passes through. Like I don't want something that has calories to just go whoop like this. Anything that has calories has to stay in my tummy for a long time before it passes through. So don't drink your calories. Your calories have to be chewable. Okay, again, that's my preference. That's my advice so if you're drinking something and it has any calories, my suggestion is like no. And again, I'm not a nutritionist. This is not expert advice. So do your own research and all that disclaimers and stuff. Sarah. Okay, I'm gonna try reading your name, Sarah Swat. I think I nailed it. Sarah Swat. I nailed it. I did nail it. Sarah Swat is saying is declining. Oh, religion is declining, but at the same you're missing it. At the same time, socialism seems to be becoming popular among the millennials. Socialism, like religion, I believe, is opium of masses and control, isn't it? It's guys, I'm a capitalist. I am extremely capitalist, but socialism is not. I mean, are you talking communism or socialism? I mean, socialism is not that bad. In fact, it enhances capitalism if you have it in society. Okay, like honestly, I am a cheerleader for capitalism, but I like regulated capitalism. And the way you get regulated capitalism is a small dose of socialism. Like I want the socialists to force the capitalists to make their capitalism regulated capitalism. Okay, so I don't see socialism as completely useless or like the danger that you're suggesting that it is. Right? Again, I say that as a cheerleader of capitalism. Okay, I'm full on capitalist. Okay, that doesn't mean like I'm an anarchist. That doesn't mean that I don't want governments to be involved. Governments need to be involved. I am for regulation. Oh, hello. I have somebody here and I want to show you guys. He's Pucci. Pucci is also a capitalist, aren't you? Pucci is also a capitalist. Look at her. Pucci is for free markets. Pucci is for free markets, isn't she? Oh, there we go. Ooh, I almost knocked over my glass. Oh, she's laying right here. Did I answer that question? Yes, I think I did. You guys are funny. All right, I wish I could highlight the new comments that are coming in, but I'm gonna lose my spot if I highlight those. Music guy is saying, do you ever study parts of the human body? If so, what is your favorite subject or even part? Obviously, the brain. Okay, so here's the thing. In the list of things that I'm about to study, not about to, studying the brain is something that is on my list, but I've calculated when it's going to get me, like the number of courses that I have in front of that. It seems like I would get there like in 3 years. So it's not going to be for a while, but obviously it has to be the brain because I'm a transhumanist. And the only way to fully become independent from our bodies is to understand how this goddamn thing works. Guys, do you understand that we don't understand how this box of wires here works? We don't know that. We have no idea. We do have some ideas, but it's still okay. Look at this, okay? I'm looking at this, okay? Now I'm putting it away. I'm imagining it right now. The image that or Poochie, okay? You saw Poochie? Guys, everyone, the dog that I just showed you, this might not be cut. Okay, never mind. The glass, okay? Guys, everyone look at this. I'm going to put this. Imagine it in your head, okay? The fact that you could imagine that in your head without seeing it, that means that it has been stored in a form of information somewhere. The way that information being stored somewhere in your brain, we have no idea yet how exactly that information is stored. Like, for example, the image, if I take a picture of this, that image on my phone, we know exactly how that information is stored. Like we know what that image of a glass on my computer, on my phone, that data, we know exactly the process and the way that the information is stored. The same image in my goddamn head, we don't know how that's stored. We don't know what that information in my brain looks like. If we did, we would be able to download and upload information to my brain. It's amazing that we have this accessible to us. Like we right now, as the human race has managed to figure out what happened a fraction of a second after the Big Bang. right? Which is something that we have no access to. We have figured it out. But this brain that is here right in front of us and we could do whatever we want with, we haven't know, we still don't know how it works. We don't know how it stores information and how it processes information. As soon as we figure that out, we will be able to let go of this body, like we will be able to get rid of, like, break free from this goddamn carbon base, this flesh and bone, this thing that is limiting us from becoming gods, right? This you see all of this is stopping us from being gods. It's slowing us down, guys. It's making us die. We need to break free. This thing is our prison. This body is our prison. This is all we need. The rest is just like it's just is nothing. We just need our brain. Okay, and even the brain could be uploaded to some silicon-based platform, like carbon. Like, guys, we need to fight death, guys. This is like, we need to figure out. This is why Obama was the best president the whole world has ever seen. Okay, and people don't know this. People are only going to realize this, maybe 200 years from now, because he funded mapping the brain. Right? Did you guys know that? He funded mapping the brain, and people don't understand what this is going to lead to. Okay, people don't understand what this is going to lead to. We need to map the brain, guys. Everything. We need to move away from religion, politics, and everything. All of this have to be solved so that the entire world could get united and defeat death. So that we can become gods already. Like, come on. All right. Next question. That's very, yeah, you can see that I care about it. All right. Sarah, what? Wait, I already answered this one. Yeah, I already answered this one. Oh my God, you're asking it again. Oh, Virus said a good answer. Oh, thank you, Virus. Oh, Puya is here. Hi, Puya. I'm going to slap you. Okay. Puya, okay. I also watch all my videos on double speed. Do you ever feel like the real world is slow? Yes. This is why when I listen to people, I feel like I want to. Oh, I shouldn't say what I about to say because YouTube would think that I am promoting violence. Okay, but I can't deal with people in real world anymore because they don't talk on double speed, and I can't pause them, and I can't rewind if I didn't understand what they just said. Right? I prefer. Yes, I do not. I can't deal with people. They're extremely slow. They're very. It just makes me want to shake them so they could go faster when they're talking to me. Do you have a bucket list? Yes, my bucket list is to learn all the things I want to learn. Wait, no, I don't have a bucket list because I'm not going to die. I'm going to freeze my brain and live forever. So I don't need a bucket list because there's no end to my life. But yeah, I want to learn as much as I have a list of things that I need to learn, and that's my bucket list. So. Troll is saying, do you archive a video before taking it down? Yes, but there's nowhere where we can upload it anymore because YouTube just came out with a policy that their monetization policy is based on what we are like as people anywhere on the internet. Basically. So the new policy of YouTube is that they could demonetize us for things that we're not doing, not only on the channel, not only on other YouTube channels, but not even on YouTube, like outside of YouTube. Like they could decide that we are not good ambassadors of YouTube, and if we are just crappy people in their opinion, they will demonetize us. That's a new policy that just came out with. So if you take these videos down, if you put it up anywhere, that will go against your, they would be like, okay, we don't like you if you have these views. So even if it's not on the channel, they might demonetize us. So we might, I don't know. Yeah. So, nah. Guys, YouTube needs a serious competitor. Okay, let me see. No, yeah, we're not going to post them anywhere, unfortunately, with this new policy. Wow, that's a pretty name. And I can't pronounce it, but I can tell that it would have been a pretty name if I could pronounce it. Shayara. Shayara. So that sounds like a name from a fantasy or like a goddess or something. Shayara. All right. Shayara, am I pronouncing it right? Shayara is saying, I feel very offended when people use my religious background to explain me like Muslim atheist. Am I overreacting? I want to do nothing with religion. Religion isn't even genetic. Why should I bear it? No, I think it's justified to be annoyed. Like people using your background as a way to come up with conclusions about who you are and what you represent. Like without, like, yeah, no, you're justified in being annoyed. Very justified. I can see how that's annoying. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. You could be annoyed, but you don't have to be rude about it, right? So, for example, when my mom died and people, friends and family, which were usually mostly Muslim in my experience, kept on telling me, like, her spirit is happy, she's in a better place now, God is with her, blah, blah, blah. And I was dealing with the death of my mom, and I wanted to just, like, focus on, the misery that I had to deal with. And these people wanted to, like, dismiss how big of a deal this was to me by saying, like, oh, she's with God, she's happy now, she's in a better place. That was incredibly annoying. Like, I think I was justified in being annoyed. However, I didn't overreact. I just said thank you. Right? I just said thank you. So I think, like, the feeling is justified. However, what you do with that feeling in the form, what action you take with that feeling could be justified or not justified, right? I personally decided to be completely very polite about it and just say thank you. But inside, I was like, I wish I could, I imagine myself swearing at these people, shouting, and I also imagine things that I cannot say on YouTube, but my dog is here, but I couldn't, but I didn't. I was very polite. I'm very polite. I'm very proud of myself for being able to keep myself calm. Because I usually, it wasn't, anyways. Oh my God, you're asking this question like a million times. Maybe just be patient. I'll get to your question. What is this? I don't understand this question. I have no idea what this means. Okay, come on. Give credit to Zero to India. I think I read that. Yeah, no. Who was it that took it from India? Yeah, I forgot. I read about this a long time ago. I forgot, but India had a major role in it. Even if they weren't. Okay, here's the thing: is the interesting thing is the way I remember it went from China to India, and then to Arabia. The whole zero thing. Okay, people are so obsessed with like who was the first person, but every single person that took it added a lot to it. Like we're as human beings, we're so upset with so obsessed with first. You see how people comment first in the comment section of YouTube? First. That maybe you were not the first, but you improved it so much, right? So, like, so whoever the Indians took the idea of zero from, obviously they did a lot more with it than whoever came up with it first, right? They did a lot more with it. And then the Arabs who took it from Indians, they created algebra, like they did so much more with it. And like everybody who took it from the next person, it's not like they took it and just were like, oh, now everything you know and all the knowledge that you have is all from these people, right? Like, for example, when you say like, oh, the Renaissance happened because of the Arabs translated the ancient Greek philosophers, and that's why, the Renaissance is 100% because of Arabs. No, it's the Arabs translation process and all that deserves a lot of credit, but the people in Europe that did the Renaissance, they didn't just like take that ideas and did nothing with it. They added a whole bunch of stuff to it, right? So this obsession with who was first, I think it's unjustified, because usually the people who take an idea, they add so much to it that they deserve credit for adding for all those additions. So even if you look at India and say like, okay, there was like maybe the concept of zero was predates the thinkers of India, right? Yeah, but like they just didn't like, oh, here's the idea of zero, and then like just look at it for 100 years. They did a lot of stuff with it. Why did you switch fields from microbiology to finance when you moved to Canada? Because I was trying to find a subject in university that was multidimensional, right? So I loved biology, but I didn't like the fact that I'm all just learning one thing. I wanted to learn many different things. I wanted to know about philosophy, history, economics, physics, biology, everything. I wanted to know something about everything. So I was like looking for something that was involved in everything, right? And then at that point in my life, I decided finance is is a degree that you need to know a little bit about everything in the world. You need to know about politics, you need to know about economics, you need to know about math, you need to know how the world works, you need to know how the history, you need to like. So I thought like finance is the degree that would make me more, gives me excuses as to why I'm learning all these other things. Like, yeah. Okay. I noticed there's a strong correlation between GDP per capita and average IQ. Do you think third world countries should provide financial incentives for lower IQ women to grow? No. Whoa. I'm not even going to read the rest. No. No, actually what you're saying above, if it's true, contradicts your solution. Maybe this just means IQs grow with economic prosperity. So you don't need to do any genetical. What the hell is no? Just make economic prosperity, and like just focus on trade and economic models. And as your country grows economically, with more people have access to education and better diets and less stressful lifestyles and healthier habits, then that will what you're saying above very much suggests that this whole IQ thing is an environmental issue. And if you need to focus on providing better environments rather than this solution like this. What? This just went really dark really fast. No, like not that. Not that. Okay. Wow. Yeah, Dark is saying yikes. Yeah, yikes indeed. What is this? Oh wait, Chrissy says something. Hi, Chrissy. Oh, like that's not a question. Oh. That sucks. Are those streams or can you put those streams on other sites? They have valuable information. Yeah, I said we're probably not going to be able to put them anywhere because YouTube is being extremely sensitive. Oh my god, this question again. This question was posted like 1,000,000 times. Yeah, so Troll, I'm gonna do more streams at this time. So you should be able to catch these up. Catch these up. I'm making up new words. Oh yeah, I was right. The current symbol of zero did come from China. I remembered this correctly then. And the first person who used zero is okay. So the current symbol of I can't speak. The current symbol of zero came from China, and the first person who used zero as a number in equation was I'm not even going to try that name. He came way after. Guys, okay. So the concept and the symbol are two different things. It doesn't matter who was first, even if like it was the first, it wasn't us. Okay, so do you think I would be able to come here brag about it if the first person that came up with the idea of zero was Persian? Who gives a crap? Who gives a flying fuck? Oh, I shouldn't swear. Who Nobody care. Nobody should care. Okay, we should care about the history of it because the history of it teaches us something about how human minds work. We shouldn't care about. None of this matters. Like, this is like, who's keeping the score of like the people with my ethnicity did this and came up with this. First of all, there's two things that is completely irrelevant here, right? The idea of who was it first and is being highlighted and valued a lot more than all the people that added to it. Okay, and this obsession with who was first relative to all the valuable information that was added and the ways that something was used and improved later. This obsession with who was first is very unhealthy and not very useful. And also this obsession with which ethnic group of people and did this as a way to, I mean, that is valuable because we can see what cultures lead to what. But if you're trying to have like a scoreboard of what people who happen to be my ethnicity came up with compared to what other people's ethnicity, then like get out of here. Like, okay, fine. Like, you have so little sense of self-worth that you have to go look up to see what your ancestors thousands of years ago did so that you can feel somewhat worthy. Like, that's where you go find self-worth, like, with actions of people that have nothing to do with you, that were not you. That's where you go find relevancy and importance. That's your source. I mean, that's pathetic. Okay, you were like, I'm Persian and Persian people did this. You're being pathetic. Okay, like if I'm race B and race B people did this, you're being pathetic. You're being pathetic. Did somebody just call me on Facebook? I'm gonna block this person. Who calls? Oh my god, this person is calling me again. I'm going to block this person. It's on Skype. Yeah, this person needs to be blocked. I'm sorry. Block. There we go. Guys, don't call me. I'll block you. I don't care who you are. I'll block you. All right. Here's a question. Oh, this Lion of Christ is asking me a question. Hey, Armin. Hey, oh, no, hey. Hey, I was on Picnic. Pink Geek? What's Pink Geek? What the hell? Hold on. What? I don't know what Pink Geek is. I talk about pacifism and interracial marriage, and I, as a Bible-believing Christian, spoke against it. International marriage, people started calling me racist. Okay, that's not a question. I think this person is a troll. Oh, greetings from Serbia. Oh, nice. Guys, look, we're on LinkedIn. We're streaming on LinkedIn as well. Greetings, Dragon. All right, here's an actual question from the Lion of Christ. What's your current view on... Oh, I'm not going to talk about that on YouTube. Yes, no. I'm not going to talk about that on YouTube. You're just trying to get us nuked out of YouTube. Oh my god, this question again. Sir, what? I think I'm about to block you. Okay. Wow, we're so behind on the questions. There's a lot of questions here. I mean, what do you think about the whole Asian cultures is so strict sex? Guys, maybe try some super chats because I want to end this soon, and maybe like I'll do super chats or member comments or something. Okay, so because there's too many questions here. Yeah, this channel is monetized. You guys should do some super chats if you want your questions because I don't know if I could keep up with all these questions. What do you think about the whole Asian cultures is so strict, sex negative, traditional, relative? I don't understand this question. Even Japan, Korea, still they are the same in brothers above mentioned. Okay, this question is not written very well. So, what do I think about Asian culture being sex negative? It would be better if they were sex positive. That's what I think. I pronounce your name right. Okay, good. So stop asking. So you should stop asking the same question a million times next time. Okay. But yeah, but good. I knew I got it right. Questions. Oh, we got to the puppy part. Puppy, capitalist dog, tanky dog. No, my doggies are not tankies. Oh, it hurts to learn that you are for capitalism. Hey, I think capitalists and socialists and communists should be able to be friends, right? I'm a capitalist. I have communist friends. In fact, one of my heroes is a communist. One of my heroes is Mariam Namazi. She's full-on communist, and I'm a capitalist. So this whole idea of like, oh, I don't like you because you're a capitalist, or like, oh, I like you less because you're a socialist. Like, well, then screw you. Like, I'm pretty sure we disagree on other things as well. Why do we have to like, you know? Now, I'm not saying screw you, by the way. It says DG. I'm just saying, like, don't make disagreements that big of a deal, okay? We can live with each other and tolerate each other and even like each other, yeah, without agreeing with each other. The Christ of Jesus, Christ of Jesus, this Lion of Christ. Well, you changed your name. You used to be the Lion of Christ. Now you're ye roar for Christ. Why is your Christ has a one in it instead of an I? Do you not love your Lord enough to be able to spell his name properly? Can I come in one of your shows? No. Do you believe in free will? Also no. I love this answer, Armin. I don't know which answer this was, but thank you. Give Poochie some smoochie. How did you feel about music back when you were Muslim? I liked it, depending on the kind of music. Puya, this is like, you're from Iran. I don't remember anybody being that influenced by Islam in Iran to hate music. Like, even the people who were very extremely Islamic, they just hated Western music, but they weren't like anti-music. Like, I don't understand this question. Have you guys met a Muslim that is like, I mean, I've read of Muslims who are anti-music, are like, oh, music is haram. No, actually, we've even seen some in YouTube that music as a whole is haram. Okay, I've seen it on YouTube. I've read about them. I don't think there's that many of them. I have never met one. I've never experienced in my entire 20 years of living in Iran. Never met a single person that like, yeah, music is bad. Even when I went, like, even if I had met with some like really fundamentalist religious group of people, they were like, oh yeah, Western music is bad. Not like music is bad. Like they like traditional Persian music and stuff like that. Or like not even but traditional Persian music. Maybe they were against the one that you play in parties and they were like romantic or something like that. But the santur or like that kind of music, they liked it. They like that one. Puya is saying, let's just say I knew a few people who were like that. Okay, but those are like really rare. Come on, like I'm Muslim, so music haram. Like that is like incredibly rare. I mean, at least I don't know. I think they're very rare. Ghost Bunny is saying people with I don't know what it is. Okay, this is a question. This is not a question. Oh, my brain is auditory, relays information back to me like an audiobook. Yeah, well, take crash courses is like that too. So I like to switch. I like to have for fast consumption. I do audiobooks and courses, online courses for for learning before I go to sleep. I like to do some slow reading on a paper book. So it depends on the goal. Sometimes I just like to have a book. When I'm holding a book and I'm reading it, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to learn as much as possible, okay? Because if I was trying to learn, I would be listening to an audiobook on double speed, or I would be taking a course or watching a YouTube video on something on double speed, okay? If you see me with a book and a pen, it's just because I just like going over some sentences and underlining something and circling it and then looking up something that I don't understand on my phone. I just like that ritual is just pleasing, okay? Because I can tell you the speed at which I'm learning when I'm doing that is like 1/10 of when I'm like doing my actual learning, right? Like this is like I spend like half an hour with the book and I'm like, Jesus, like we went half an hour and I was like we didn't learn much here, okay? Like I might have just learned about one thing in this whole half an hour. I would have been processing so much more information. Just the whole ritual of like paper underlining things. I'm just doing it for fun. I read books for fun. I don't read books for learning. I read books for fun, right? So Armin, what are your thoughts on narcissism? It depends on what you mean by narcissism. Are you talking about narcissism as like with the definition of being certain about certain claims, especially when it comes to divinity, or are you talking about narcissism when it comes to certain sects in, religion, in Christianity specifically, and that whole sects of Christians? So it depends on what you mean by narcissism. If you mean the latter, if you're talking about the Christian sects that were Gnostics, I don't know yet, but I read a little bit about them, and they seem fascinating. Okay, like I want to read their gospels and stuff. I'm like that's one of the courses. I'm going to take some course with Bart Ehrman and that, and I don't know when I'm going to get to that, but I am looking forward to that so much. Okay. If you're talking about Gnosticism as just like pure certainty, then obviously I don't think that's justified about anything, right? Oh yeah, Hussein is talking about the Christians. Like they are very fascinating. They are very fascinating. And the more you learn about them, the more you realize how wishy-washy Christianity was in the early ages of it. Like the more you go and read these alternative gospels that were basically competing with what eventually became Orthodox, right? So these are like proto-Orthodox ideas that were competing with different sects of Christianity. Like the more you go into that world, the more you realize that what eventually became Christianity happened many years after when Jesus's alleged death happened, right? Like it happened many years later. Like Christianity as you know it today was not something that came out of the time that Jesus lived. There was a whole process, and it could have, just with the smallest push to a different direction, Christianity as we know it today could have been something completely different. Some of these gospels that I read that it didn't make it to the final, didn't become part of the Bible that is canonized today. I mean, you have, hold on, let me turn this off. You have Jesus, I don't know, talking to Judah as his favorite apostle, and talking to him, and Judah is just like knows things about the nature of the universe. Guy that are, that are like, there's other gods other than Yahweh that Judah knows about. Like, there's like different layers of reality, and there's some things above Yahweh. Guys, there are gospels that talks about the Jewish God being different from the Jesus's God. Like Jesus, like there's two gods in Christianity. Some gospels have two gods, and this, the Yahweh God was like, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait to like study these things and come and share it with you guys. Right? There's some sects of Christianity which thinks that the God of Jesus was different from the God of the Jews. And basically, Jesus, the God of Christianity came and paid a debt as a sacrifice to the God of the Jews for the original sin. As a way, this God was a kind God that pitied human race and came and saved humanity. So basically, Jesus's God was like this other God from a different realm, completely different from the Jewish God, the Yahweh God. So that was a sect of Christianity that could have made it, that could have become the mainstream Christianity as we know it today. But yeah, I can't wait to get to learning more about that. Oh, Hussein is saying exactly, you're on it. Yeah. I want to know the details of these other religions. I mean, different sects of Christianity that never made it. But yeah, it sounds very fascinating, and it's just the fact that they were basically in competition with Christianity as we know it today, and they could have almost made it, and they didn't. Just makes you like, anybody who studies these other gospels and the history of Christianity and how Christianity was made. Like, if you know all of that and you remain a Christian, then you have to, yeah, you're insane. I mean, like, I just study the history of. Oh, it's anyways. All right. Wait, do you think democracy starts in a country from its people or a group of intellectual people that imply that through their true law? Wait, I don't understand this question. I don't think it's like one. I don't think the causation is like singular, right? I think there are many different things that could make the advance of democracy in a country more or less likely. And I think having a certain group of intellectuals that become popular and maybe cheerlead certain ideas in society, like we saw with the Enlightenment in Western Europe in the 1800s, could be a major motivating factor. It could also, there's many other things. It could be like basic level of education. It could be economic factors, right? Once people's basic needs are met, then they start demanding something beyond just food in their bellies and clothes and shelter. They start demanding rights. So economic factors is a major major influence in democracy. It's not the sole factor, it's not the only factor, it's not the it's not the it's not like if you have economic, like I'm talking about GDP per capita per individual. I'm not talking about as a whole in the country, in the country. Like, I'm not talking like China. Also, like, one major factor is natural resources. Natural resources usually works against democracy, because if a government could rely on wealth coming out of its ground, then it has to rely less on the support of its people for its to remain in power, right? So there's many factors. I think you can't simplify it to one or two things. So it's just like, instead of like, oh, is it this or this, it's like 50 different things, and some of these will make it more likely and some of these would make it less likely, but not each one of this is like the only or necessary factor, or none of these will guarantee it. So it's just way more complex than that. But if you're asking, would a group of intellectuals spreading certain ideas in a way that, if they become, kind of, if they have celebrity status in a society, and that has happened in history. Like, we have seen many times where certain people in history manage to push things forward, in a way that, if we were just naturally left to economics or other socioeconomic factors, it would have taken maybe like a lot longer. Like, sometimes there's just certain movement or certain individuals where they just make everything push forward a lot faster. But again, it's much more complicated than than the binary way that you're putting it right now, I think. Okay, I'm gonna just scroll down really fast because there's too many questions and I need to go. Sorry about your last month, though. Thank you. It was a while ago. I'm okay now. All right, I'm just gonna. When it comes to science and mathematics, everybody has contributed. Yes, I agree. Okay, I'm just gonna, guys. I'm gonna go to the very bottom. If you ask me a question that I missed, because it's just too many. If you ask me a question that I missed and you really want me to answer it, please ask it now, and then in 5 or 10 minutes I'm gonna go. No, I'm not gonna go to any other website because you can't get any audience over there. It's really hard to build any form of audience over there, right? I don't want to go and talk in an echo chamber, and people there, yeah. Oh, Hossein is saying your comment about becoming God reminded me of narcissism because they believe in becoming or reuniting with God as well. Yeah, but they're talking about this magic-y, supernatural way of like our brain is just being part of this divine, part of this. They're being mystics, basically, right? Like, they're acting like mystics where everything is connected and we're going to go back home, and our consciousness is like a drop of the like in the sea that is this divine energy, and blah 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 blah. Like, that's what they're talking about. So most mystics, that's what they're talking about, and there's different types of them. Like, is everything God, or is God and we're just going to go back to it? Is there anything to go back to if everything is already God? Are we coming from God, or everything is already God and this is all an illusion? That's just mystic talk, right? I'm talking about practical scientific stuff. Okay, I'm not talking about becoming God. I'm just being exaggerating by godlike, as in like just acting like we're unstoppable. Okay, I'm not literally talking God as like this, eternal, this unlimited source of power that could just bend the laws of nature. Like, we're gonna be. I'm talking about, I'm talking about knowledge being the only limitation for any, for what we can accomplish, right? So, and knowledge is only a function of time. So the only laws that we're not going to be able to break are going to be the laws of math and physics, right? But anything other than that, the only reason why we're limited by the things that we could do is the knowledge that we don't have, and knowledge that we don't have is only a function of the time that has not been spent yet, right? So as that time passes, there should be nothing that we cannot do that doesn't break the laws of math and physics, right? So this, I just described that as godlike, not necessarily God, but godlike. That is different from with the way these people talk about becoming God. Is they usually value they consider our consciousness, our minds to be something special within the universe, as if the whole universe evolves around our minds, the human mind, as if like there's something uniquely spiritual about our minds that sets it apart from all other matter, right? So the way I am talking about it is that we are not destined. Well, I mean, I am a determinist, so I don't know if I should say that. It's not that we're special, or that this universe has cares for us, or that this universe has been made for us, or that if there was any plan or purpose for us to become anything. It's just that we just happen to be able to achieve that just because we can, not because there was not because there was a plan, or not that because there was a purpose to all of this. There was no purpose to all of this. But we will be able to do what we want to do once we gather enough knowledge on how to do it. So that's basically seeing it the other way around, right? So we're not going home. We're not going to heaven. We're building heaven from scratch. There was no heaven. There was no God. We are making it from nothing. We're building it up. How about making archived AR videos available on BitTorrent? That is not streaming video. No, but the thing is that if there's videos being out there, YouTube could know that that's you and will consider you a personality type based on the things that you have there, somebody that they don't want to deal with. And that's why they said that they could use that as a justification to consider you not somebody YouTube wants to be presenting them. So they said they openly admitted that. That's why it doesn't really matter. All right. Hussein, your comments were very interesting today. I'm glad you were here. Do you like art? Do you think art is important for intelligent beings? I mean, art is meant to. I mean, I like art. Depends on the art. Do I think it's important? I mean, if it wasn't important, we wouldn't be so obsessed with it as. I mean, the human race wouldn't be so obsessed with art from the very beginning if it wasn't important. I mean, important to who? Like important, like I think depends who you're talking about. I don't think I can imagine anybody that doesn't appreciate some sort of art. I mean, most people listen to music. That's art. I mean, you watch and people watch movies. I mean, what do you mean by art? Because there's so many things that are art. That is there anybody like I can't imagine anybody not appreciating some sort of art. Like even if you watch a movie, even if you watch like if you read a comic, who's not appreciating art? I mean, it's just a form of. It's not. I don't think it. Your question is like, should it be important? But I'm wondering if that's the right question, because it's just like it is. There's no should here. Like it's not like you're making it like normative. Like I'm answering it in a descriptive way. Like I don't think it's the question is like should it be important or should it not be important? How do we even answer that when it already is important? Like do we get, I mean, I don't think we get to decide. It already is important to almost everybody. And if we happen to find somebody that happens to not care about art at all, I think you should let that person be. I don't know if I can't judge whether or not that person's life is better or not. I just can't imagine somebody that doesn't appreciate any form of art. Like, I mean, if you enjoy stories are a form of art. So yeah, I don't think there's any should here, because it's almost universal that everybody cares about art. It's almost as if asking, like, should we care about drinking water? I mean, can you try not caring about drinking water? Like, can you try not wanting to drink water? I mean, good luck with that. Right? So I don't know. Okay. Hossein saying, accept my request on FB. I'm gonna send it. I don't know what you want to send. Don't message me on Facebook. I can't check my messages on Facebook. Is your name on Facebook the same thing that you have here? I can look for it. I'm gonna accept the request, but I'm not gonna. This is my communication with the world. Okay, these live streams are me communicating with the world. When I am off this live stream, I'm gonna go back to my courses and my books and my exercises. Okay, if I check, if I am spending time checking my Facebook messages or looking up my feed and stuff like that, then yeah, I'm not being productive. Okay, like I can't respond to Facebook messages. That's not. This is my time that I've dedicated to communicating with the rest with the whole world. That's it. When I get off of this, I'm learning or doing something administrative. Yeah, Hussein, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna accept it. Okay, let me actually answer one more question. Okay, and I want to answer this. Is there a book about Iran, its history and politics that you would recommend? A book that I am I want to read. Okay, wait. First, a book that I have read and a book that I want to read. Okay, so the book that I have read, what was it called? Shia Divide? No, the Shia Sunni. No, Shia Iran. What was the book called? I can't remember. I don't add my memory. What was the book called? Oh my god. How is it not even showing when I search for it? I am so bad at remembering the name of the book that I read that even the title that I'm searching for is not bringing that. Hold on, let me look at my Audible. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? Okay, let me look at my Audible and the Finnish section. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, the Shia Revival. Okay, the Shia Revival is the book that I read. Loved it. Okay, it's about Iran. That's a book I read and I recommend it very much. It's recent history. Okay, I'm more interested in recent history right now because it tells us a lot more about how things are. And yeah, I think Asian history is interesting, but the relevance to how things are right now is much less. I like Asian history for, for understanding where the basics of the ideas that the foundations of the ideas we have today, how did it start? Where did it come from, right? And how the human mind operates. But when it comes to understanding how things are today and why things are the way they are today, I think studying more recent history is more would be more relevant than that. Why is my hair doing this? Go back. Okay. Another book, the book that I want to read, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to because I have so much on my list, and this is a giant book. It's called Iran, another very helpful name because you're going to show a lot of things are going to show up in the search for that. So look for the author. The author is Abbas Amanat. So Iran by Abbas Amanat, and this is the history of Iran from from the Safavid Empire, the beginning of the Safavid Empire, going through the Qajar dynasty, and then the Pahlavi dynasty, and then the Islamic Republic of Iran. So it starts from basically when Iran got its Shia identity from the Safavid dynasty till now. Basically, with Iran, the Iran that we know today, you're going to learn more about how Iran is today, its identity as it is right now. Like maybe a lot of Iranians would want you to believe that Iran's identity is back from the Haqamanishi Empire from Cyrus the Great, but Iran today is very disconnected. Like its identity today is very much disconnected from that ancient history. If you want to learn about how Iran got to the way it is right now, I think this would be a much better book that I'm looking so forward to reading. One book that I listen to while I'm eating, because if I'm listening to something that is too, okay, here's another interesting thing, guys. I'm going to tell you guys this, and then I'm going to go. So a lot of times when I'm listening to things in double speed, I might have to click on rewind 10 seconds because there's certain things that I'm going to miss. So it goes like, sometimes I have to go like, what was that again, right? So I can't do that when I eat because I eat with my hands and everything is messy and everything is like it's a giant mess when I'm eating food. Okay, I like to yeah. Anyways, so I have to listen to something, and I want to enjoy my food. I want to actually, when I'm eating, I want to be able to focus on how the food tastes. And if I'm like listening to something that is too complicated and I'm focusing on learning, then I don't get to enjoy my food. I want to be able to enjoy my food when I'm eating, right? So I listen to something very easy to listen to on singles and not on double speed. And that's usually I leave that only for when I'm eating. And right now, the book that I'm listening to when I'm eating is called Mythos by Stephen Fry. It's about Greek mythology, and it's just such a pleasant thing to have in the background while you're eating. So I need to find more books like that. So when I'm on my spinning bike, I listen to things in double speed, and it's usually more complicated stuff. But I need to find more book like that. That is, I'm also still learning something. Like I'm learning about Greek mythology, but it's much more relaxed, much more, peaceful, much more enjoyable. Not very, it's nothing complicated. Unlike and Mythos by Stephen Fry, it's just such a beautiful thing to listen to. So I suggest that if you want to listen to something on single speed. Okay. Okay, I don't know what this means. But I'm imagining some dirty things. All right. Stephen Fry is brilliant. Yes, he is. All right, guy, go watch the conversation between Stephen Fry and Jordan Peterson, because these are two people interested in myth. Okay, Stephen Fry is interested in mythology, and Jordan Peterson is also interested in mythology. So watching an atheist interested in mythology talk to a cheerleader for Christianity, talk about mythology and the different perspective of it, it was so amazing to watch. So go watch that meeting. Go watch that interview. Ghost Bunny saying, this was a fun stream. I enjoyed it. Guys, you guys are just saying that because I like it when you guys say that at the end. You guys are so sweet. You guys are just saying that to make me feel good. Thank you, guys. Oh yeah, Jose say I have that conversation on my playlist. Gotta watch it now. Yeah, it was brilliant. I loved watching that conversation. Yeah, cool. Hussein, I'm gonna go look up you on Facebook, but please, if I miss your Facebook messages, don't be upset, because I have a million messages in different places that I haven't checked for like years now. So I'm sorry, but I'm gonna accept your friend request. Okay. Cool Kid saying yes. Thank you, Armin. I rarely get any validation. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Did I miss anything, guys? If I didn't highlight your comments, it's because I missed it. I wasn't I feel bad every time if somebody asks me something and I didn't highlight it, and maybe they think like I ignored them. Don't. It's not that, guys. Okay, I'm trying my best here. I mean, I don't say anything to make someone happy. It was a country. Ah, you guys. Okay. I'm gonna go before it gets too mushy in my ear. All right, bye, guys. Bye. Thank you, guys.